and welcome to another episode of Family Fun Force Podcast. I'm Jess,
I'm Matt.
and today we are doing Unrailed. It's episode 8. Somebody want me to clarify?
You don't. That's fine.
You can cut it out. Today we're doing Unrailed. Unrailed is rated E for everyone with mild fantasy violence. It is available on PC and Mac now with early access. It's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch September 23rd, and there is a demo out right now for Switch. It is a 1 to 4 player single console or online multiplayer game, so you can do split screen or do the multiplayer online. There is not currently any Metacritic rating as it is still early access. So I pulled the rating from Steam, which is about 92% positive overall. I think the past 30 days was rated about 87%. Get you a little synopsis. Unrailed! Exclamation point is a cooperative roguelike multiplayer game where you have to work together with your friends to build a railway track across endless, procedurally generated worlds. Master random encounters with its inhabitants, upgrade your train, and keep it from derailing. Alright, Matt, what you got for us?
I just want to lead off by saying this is our first pre-release game that we're talking
Yeah,
about,
first early access game!
and I want to avoid early access in the future, but this was close enough to launch that the two of us thought it looked fun, so we gave it a try. But it was developed by Indoor Astronaut. This is their first game. It's published by Daedalic Entertainment and Bilibili. I think the Bilibili only publishes in China though, because they're a Chinese company. But Daedalic has also published Shadow Tactics, which is a game I'm gonna beg Jess to review in the future. But it's probably better known for Deponia.
I know Deponia, Shadow Tactics, and Ninja game.
Yeah, ninjas.
Yeah, that looked like a hard game. I don't also think it's very family friendly. Deponia might be family friendly, but we'll see.
So game mechanics. In Unrailed, your objective is to build train track from the start of the previous station to the next station before the train becomes unrailed. You can build track by chopping down trees to gather wood, and then you take the wood and you put it in a rail car. And then you chop down rocks to gather ore, and you put the ore in the rail car.
I believe it's called mining.
No, it's chopping down. I'm pretty sure it's the same animation.
Yeah, but you're mining. You're not chopping it down.
So you stick the trees and the rocks in the car, and then you wait 10 seconds and it poops out a railroad track that you then pick up and you try to run in front of the train before it runs off the track that you've already placed. The train also has a temperature mechanic to where it slowly overheats until it explodes, and you have to carry around a watering can to spray it down. You can upgrade the train and the train cars, and there were a lot of different train cars, such as auto miners, auto gatherers, a milking machine, and TNT lobbying cars are just a few. There were quite a few more. There's also NPCs. Some steal your stuff, others just stand in your way and annoy you. That's most of the game right there.
Yep. Can you tell the audience what a roguelike game means?
Unrailed is considered a rogue-like game, which essentially means the objective is to survive as long as possible and try to beat the game all in one go. And when you reach the failure state of the game, you restart from the beginning. So in the case of this, if the train runs off the track, you don't go back to the previous station, you go all the way back to square one.
So it is also procedurally generated, and for those of you who don't know what procedurally generated means, it's randomly made at the beginning of each round. It's not the same map over and over again.
It does allow you to enter a map seed, such as I don't know if this was stuck to numbers or if you could use words, but that would like generate the level based off the numbers, so you could theoretically run the same level a second time by entering the same numbers.
So there were multiple biomes when
Mm-hmm.
you're doing each section. Can you
Yeah,
tell us what all biomes there were?
I can't tell you them all. I can tell you
Can you
there
tell us some
was
of them?
a temperate, there's a canyon, there's a snowy tundra, there's the moon, there's a volcano.
So the NPCs as Matt mentioned, that get in your way. I believe in the Wild West section or I don't know what the biome would be considered, but those were cows, and like in the tundra section, they're yetis. So
As far as I know, there's quite a few of the NPC critters, and you can actually do things with them, especially if you have the milk cart on your train. Most of the NPCs can be attached to the milk
wait, you
cart.
can milk the yeti?
I don't know for certain. All I know is I was reading a guide about how to abuse the milk cart for profit, and I was like, okay.
I don't remember seeing the milk cart. You make money from milking the
I don't
cows?
know what the game mechanics for the milk cart is because we saw it several times, but I never bought it because I thought it sounded dumb.
I still want to know what the ghost one did.
Yeah, there was a ghost cart. There was the TNT lobbing cart. It took us forever to figure out how the auto miner worked.
Because you have to give it fuel. Some of
Yeah,
these wagons don't work without fuel. So if you don't give it fuel, it don't do anything. You gotta give it the wood or the stone.
gotta give it the wood.
Gotta give it the wood, or it ain't gonna work. No wood, no work.
What do you think, adults would find
I
enjoyable
don't
about
have any
this
other
kind of game?
mechanics to mention.
No.
I feel like we're missing something.
You build bridges and you collect coins to upgrade your train.
Well, yeah, see, you didn't even mention bridges. There'll
Because
be
they're not
gaps of
that
water, and
important.
we did not play tutorial before we started playing multiplayer, and we're like, oh god, I don't know how to build a bridge. What are we missing?
It may
We
come as
failed
a
like
surprise to people.
2 times.
But we don't
And
play tutorials.
then, well, you should. I recommend you play the tutorial by yourself. It'll pretty much make you do it if you just start playing a game mode by yourself. It'll make you do tutorial.
Games are
Anyways,
more fun when you discover as you go.
so bridges are just one wood, and it just or two wood goes over water.
No, it's just one resource because you can build bridges out of stone too. You have
See,
to
I
in the
didn't
lava
even know that.
levels.
I just used the
I
wood.
actually okay, that's fine.
Anyway, so you're asking me a question.
Yeah, Jessica, what would, people our age find enjoyable about this game, if anything?
So I think for adults, this is a basic but challenging party game that can be fun for all, like endless mode, or competitive, like versus mode. It offers the standard gameplay plus challenges to increase earnings that are used to upgrade the train, so you can have added obstacles on top of getting to the next station, which you did not mention the challenges as a game mechanic.
Oh, I forgot about it when we played too, so.
So in the top left hand corner, it'll show one thing to do, like don't sprint into a teammate, or don't pick up the axe
Let
for a
the
certain amount of time, or put spinny pieces of track down 8 seconds ahead, or stuff like that.
let the train overheat for so much time.
We forgot to do that. We kept messing up. Kept getting
We
not
almost
enough
had it and you
seconds.
accidentally bumped it with the
We
watering
accidentally
can.
made sure our train didn't catch fire, and then we failed. Failed by not failing. So, yeah. What do you think about for adults?
Uh, I was really impressed with how they allowed you to do split screen in this game, and it was like super easy to get the controls set up and working for split screen.
Well, we were playing on 2 different consoles.
Yeah, but I I took the time to test it on my
Oh, good for
computer,
you, because I
and yeah,
didn't.
it worked really easy, and that kind of thing is good for like turning this into a party game. I did not see if you could add more than 2 players on one computer though.
It's supposed to be
But
up to 4 players on
split
one.
or just 4 players co-op?
On 4 players on one
Okay.
console.
Well,
So,
assuming that works, then that's the strongest thing going for this game because
because
you could
that's
turn it
what,
into a good party game or a good drinking game.
yeah,
Probably a better drinking game
if you're an adult.
if you're an adult, if you're over 21. How about kids? What do you think kids will think is fun about this game?
How about kids? Oh, I love kids.
That's
uh,
creepy.
I have a kid. I'm allowed to say things like that. For kids, this is a simple to pick up and play multiplayer game with little to no violence and is has team building and communication. It's harder to find cooperative games nowadays, and this one allows up to 4 players on one screen, which is really good for groups of kids having parties or sleepovers, just hanging out. Also, you can pick your avatar and unlock additional ones via gameplay. They include animals and people, so that's a good mix for kids too, I thought. What about you?
It looks like Minecraft.
It does kind of look like Minecraft.
You can convince them that it's Minecraft, and then they'll be upset when they realize it's not.
I mean, it's mostly the same thing. You're just hitting an axe into an object.
I would just like to point out the way the trailer talks about crafting makes you think it'd be more like Minecraft, but it's not.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
really focused.
really that complicated.
The whole game does about 3 things. It does them very well, but that's all it does.
You push your body into the object with the pickaxe or the normal axe, and then it breaks it. You don't even have to actually hit a button. You pick it up and then just push your body into it.
Yeah, kids will probably like the different environments and discovering them the first time. I think there's a total. It was either 7 or 9 biomes. It was written somewhere. And yeah, being able to discover all those for the first time would be really fun for kids, but I think most adults would realize that the biomes don't really add new game mechanics. They just sort of tweak the existing ones. The kids would definitely like the unlockable skins, like you said, and there are apparently quite a few skins. The most recent changelog said that it'll now send you an alert when you unlock a new skin. I think when we played, I played as a penguin. You remember what you were playing as?
I was playing as a dinosaur, obviously.
Dinosaur, okay. And yeah, customizing the train, pretty fun for kids. Pretty generic for older people who will probably figure out that there's definitely train cars that help you min-max and train cars that are a lot less useful. I still don't know what the milk car does, but it does something apparently overpowered.
I wasn't really paying attention to the cards. I was kind of just letting you pick out what you wanted and just waiting to start the next round. This is where you asked me what I enjoyed about the game.
Hey Jessica, was there anything you enjoyed about this game?
Was there anything? That's negative. Are you going to tell me you didn't enjoy this game, Matt?
What? I don't know. We'll find out.
I personally really enjoyed the simplistic mechanic, art style, and background music. This is going to be a repeated thing. You see me say that I like the art style and background music because these are things that I enjoy. I did enjoy most of the sound effects except the thieves and the cows. They were obnoxious.
You made me
I will
hit
go
my
into that
microphone again.
in my next section. What?
You made me hit my microphone again.
I really liked the avatar selection, especially that there was totally Finn from Adventure Time and a dinosaur and penguin. And yeah, I didn't really notice it when we started, but when I played a bit by myself, it popped up. You've unlocked a new character, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was actually the update that came out the day after we played it through for a
That's
couple
really
hours.
funny. I also noticed it because I tried the demo on Switch, so I could see if there were any differences, which there's really not that many differences between the console and the PC version, except I think the Switch version might have been running a little bit smoother than my PC version.
I think this is a better Switch game than the PC game.
Probably, because the Switch is great for party games.
Mm-hmm. Portable.
So I might buy the game again on Switch, but who knows? Anyways, I liked the biome selection, although I didn't really make it to many of them. Even though I didn't use it, I did like the replay feature that showed the recording of the finish round. This could be a good mechanic for you to use if you're playing the game seriously and you're going back through and pointing out to everyone what they could have done better if you're like some crazy competitive person. Overall, I thought the game was pretty relaxing and I could see myself playing it just to pass the time. What did you like, if anything?
Pass.
You
I'm
have to
kidding.
answer the question,
Okay.
sir.
I mean, it takes a simplistic voxel mechanic or voxel aesthetic that we've been seeing so often, and it does some new things with it. It has some nice weather effects. There's like a day-night cycle. There's rain that was coming and fog, and those did sort of spice up the gameplay a little bit. The fog made it so you couldn't see your avatars, and at night you could only see like a 4x4 area around your avatars. The rain didn't. Oh no, the rain cooled off the train, so you didn't have to constantly go back and forth with the water bucket. Like I appreciate how focused it is as a game. I think I was just expecting more. It's probably
I couldn't
mostly on me
argue that
though.
I was expecting more too. The trailer made it just seem more intensive than it is, I guess.
Yeah, you can kind of just run through the levels on autopilot, which is why I suggest it as for adults. Definitely like a drinking game. It it fits that well. You could easily come up with rules for taking drinks, and that might make it like tons more fun. But when me and Jess were playing it, it was the two of us, and we were kind of approaching it seriously, and also from the perspective of two people who didn't play the tutorial. So we were discovering things as it went, and that probably made it harder at first, but ultimately it's not a very difficult game. Is there anything you did not like, Jess?
So, some things that were not as enjoyable were the fact that even though there were several game modes, quick play, endless, versus, and sandbox, unless you're playing multiplayer, it's pretty much the same game mode over and over again. Quick, you just do one level at a time. Endless, you keep going through stations until a train explodes. And sandbox, you pretty much just go through the stations until it explodes, and you get to use any train parts you've unlocked in endless.
Yeah,
With the
I
quick
mean that's the
mode, you
game.
had to get a what?
I said yeah, that's the whole game.
Yeah. With the quick mode, you had to find boxes in the level to upgrade, so you weren't looking for money to do upgrades. You were just looking for a box. You'd have to go mine to that area, build a bridge, whatever, grab the box, and that would give you an upgrade. Um, and yeah, if you play by yourself, it gives you an AI robot. You can control this AI robot via commands, and you can tell it to mine. You can tell it to gather materials. You can tell it to cool off the engine. Pretty much every mechanic that you do, you can tell it to do. You can also specify areas for it to go to do these things like mining and whatnot. But the problem is, it's really efficient at doing what you tell it to do and doesn't move on to the next thing on its own. So you have to be watching what it's doing the whole time you're trying to do stuff. And if you're like, hey, go chop down some wood, it'll leave the wood everywhere, and the thieves show up and just take all of it, and it doesn't even care. It doesn't know that it's happening. It got in my way a lot. I don't know if this is a PC only issue because I didn't see it happening on Switch as often when I played, but it was constantly like trying to put down an item and then pick up another one, and it would just stand there and jerk its arms up and down for like 30 seconds while I was
Yeah,
trying to worry about the train like catching on fire and stuff.
I would say any AI abnormalities are just the specific build, and you shouldn't really hold that against the game until release.
Anyways, it didn't happen in the Switch version, so maybe they'll patch it out. But I will say that it was glitching a lot. When was it considered that it had a problem or it was done doing something, a little either like caution sign or exclamation point would come over its head, or there'd just be a line through whatever it was doing, like it couldn't do anymore, like it couldn't. There were no more trees to cut, and like I don't know. Sometimes I was like, "Hey, cut trees," and there'd be trees right there, and it would go back to like the previous section to cut trees, and I'm like, "Why are you cutting trees there?" I guess I could have spent the extra time pointing it in the right direction, but that's another part of the controller to select, and I didn't like selecting the area unless I absolutely had to because it was like three more key commands than just telling them to do an action. Constantly got in my way. It pinned me in sections so I couldn't get around the train, and I get stuck.
To be
And
fair, we were doing that to each other too.
yeah, but the robot was worse about it, dude. I'm not
Was
even
worse
kidding you.
than wow.
Yeah, it was
That's
bad.
impressive.
It was getting in my way and it was irritating me. And to me, it almost felt like not worth playing the game by yourself at all because the AI was so not helpful.
And in this game, the avatars can collide with each other, and because of the way that you gather, especially the mining of the rock, because of the way you form paths through the rock, you typically have a single block width path going the whole way to where you're going, and then you'll have your friend running to quickly pick up some rock because they need it for something, and then the two of you bump halfway through and you're pushing and try to get around, and there's only one pickaxe. There's only ever one pickaxe and one regular axe. So only one person can widen the path, and it takes an astronomically long time. So you wind up just like bumping into each other until one finally concedes to walking back the 3 or 4 spaces to give you room to leave, and it was pretty awful.
Yeah, pro tip, make your paths wide early and also delegate chores early so people know what they're doing. Pick up your own materials and put them in the freaking train. Don't make somebody else do it for you.
Yeah, the bumping mechanic and the getting around friendly avatars is pretty common in these rogue like co-op games and stuff. I just I wasn't a fan of the way you were restricted to the block grid in particular, and the way everything collided. Like it just didn't feel good. It mostly felt like you were constantly fighting like what you were smacking into and how to get around it.
Okay, I got one other thing, and then I'll let you say what else you hated about it. Um, I didn't like the thieves. They were obnoxious, and their sound effect was annoying. It reminded me of the thief from Spyro. I don't know if you guys have played the original Spyro before or the remastered. It sounds the same. It's obnoxious little thief. They take something you're supposed to have as a collectible item on every level, and they run around in circles with it, and they just like and I hate it, and I'm like scarred from playing Spyro Into the Dragonfly with that noise happening, and it makes me so mad. It triggers me, and the thieves were kind of making that noise, which is funny because the first time Matt and I played, we were talking on Discord, so I didn't really hear the game effects too much. I just heard the background music. But when I played by myself, I heard the thief, and I was like, I hate you even more now. The fact that you chucked my stuff off the cliff is one thing, and now you make that laughing noise, so much worse. So much worse. Okay, so what didn't you like about the game?
The my number one biggest complaint with this game is just how repetitive it is. As I mentioned, they had like different biomes and they had different weather effects and stuff, but none of that changed the core loop at all, at least not as far as we played. And the core loop is one player grabs the axe and walks into trees. There's no button press, you just continue walking forward and you will start to hack at the trees. The other player grabs a pickaxe and walks into rocks. And the two of you do that until there's enough material to take back to the train, to stuff in a train car and ignore for 30 seconds as it builds the train tracks, and go do your other things. And every minute or two, a player has to run and sprinkle the train with water so it doesn't explode. And every 30 seconds or so, someone grabs the train tracks and puts it in front of the train. And that's the whole game loop,
Yep,
and it never changes.
rinse, repeat.
And it's cool that they put all this effort into these biomes and these NPCs, but the game loop is so set in stone and it's so simple and there's no variety that like it was a chore to play. If we had added alcohol, I might have tolerated it longer.
I enjoyed it more than Matt did, but that's because I like boring games.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole game loop, and getting through the first level took us what, half an hour?
I honestly
It's
don't remember how long we were
it
playing.
wasn't fast. We played like 2 or 3 hours, and we got to the second biome,
Well, we were also
almost to the third biome.
a leg behind because we didn't know what we were doing. Because when I
Uh,
played by myself, it went a
I,
little bit
I
faster.
mean that's fair. We did not read the tutorial, but we did restart from the beginning once, so it's not like it was completely new to us. When we went through, it was just it felt like it took longer than it actually did. I would like to see like just more unique challenges than the most difficult thing we encountered was you had to build a bridge, and we only didn't get it because there was no UI element that said that you could place a resource on a river tile to create a bridge, which I'm sure will be fixed by launch. Honestly, the UI in the game is pretty solid right now, so they're probably just clearing up a few things. I imagine that's something that'll be fixed. But yeah, other than that, it's just the same thing. You just walk in the trees, walk in the rocks, put them in front of the train, continue. Um, the new train cars, there, like I said, there were a bunch of train cars. I only, we only saw the descriptions for maybe 8 total when we played, but I think there's like 20 or something.
That's a lot of
Something
train
kind of
doors.
crazy. So there might be some fun things hidden in there, but none of those are gonna change the game as far as I saw, except maybe the milk cart, which I still don't understand.
Or the ghost cart.
Potentially the ghost cart. I thought the ghost cart only like scared away NPCs or something. I don't
I think you're
honestly
supposed
know.
to be able to go through things. I don't know if it's
Okay.
maybe that brown, or not brown, the dark gray stone that you have to TNT. Maybe it's that. I saw
Mm,
a clip that that's what it looked like, but I'm not 100% positive what it does, so
all right.
don't quote me on that. Oh, we never used TNT, by the way.
Yeah, no, we never built the TNT cart. That's fair. But, again, none of that's changing the actual the only two things you do, which is to throw resources in the train and to pour water on it. That's probably my biggest complaint with it. That's why I got bored of it as fast as I did, but we still played it for, as I mentioned, 2 or 3 hours. It just never ends.
I mean, if you're playing endless. I think when you play the quick game modes, they might add some extra stuff to make it more difficult for you, but I didn't get that far. Same with sandbox.
Yeah, I think Sandbox, you can just restart from the last station when you die. And was the other quick one? I'm pretty sure you just get more money faster and the train probably goes faster. It's probably it. Honestly, we don't know though. We haven't played and the game's not out yet, so it could change. Again, all of this is largely up in the air, since it is early access.
I
But
wouldn't say if the game's coming out in 22 days, I don't think it's that up in the air.
true, but they could add like maybe one more thing that might
Well,
dramatically change
well,
the
I
loop.
played the demo on Switch, and I would assume that's pretty much the completed product, and it's pretty much the same thing that's on PC.
That's fair.
So, if you have a Switch, try the demo because the demo's pretty much what we played on PC. It only lets you play one game mode though, so you're kind of stuck to only trying that. And I don't think you can do multiplayer on the demo either. I'm not 100% positive. So yeah, any last comments on the game?
We'll probably make a post about this when it comes out. Full release, we'll probably give it a try. And just, I'll probably add it to the podcast description. So if you see this at, what's the date it comes out?
September 23rd.
Yep. So if you listen to this after the 23rd, check the description for our final comments if our opinions have changed at all.
You think the PC version's gonna get another update? You're saying, or we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna buy a console version?
No, the PC version is supposed to be updated.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check it out. I mean, you bought it on sale. What? How much did you spend on
Oh,
each
that
copy?
that was the last thing I wanted to comment on. Thank you, Jessica.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought it for the two of us. I think I total paid 25 or $30 for our two copies. I don't remember. It's normally $20. That's probably the single reason I'm this outspoken about it.
I was gonna say
Because
abrasive.
$20, I was expecting more than just this simple of a core loop just to repeat endlessly. I was honestly disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, $20 is pretty standard for most indie games now, but
Like I understand the development and everything going into it. It's just sitting down and actually playing it. There's so little to actually do, but they've put a lot of effort into the content that's there. It's just I think none of the content that's there dramatically changes the game. So like a lot of it's gorgeous, a lot of it's well done. The animation and sound effects are all there, but nothing that's there changes what you do. So ultimately, it feels like wasted effort to me, which is probably the harshest thing I could say, but I'm trying to be as polite as I can about this.
okay. All right. So, Debbie Downer. Let's wrap this up, I guess. Although I before I roll into the similar title, I would say, are there any other train type games you would recommend if people are just looking for a train type game?
Minecraft, you build trains.
Back on the Minecraft. All right, I guess that's fine. Um,
Why is there a train specific game you would recommend?
well, I was gonna make a comment that see, I got confused because about the same time they posted Unrailed on the Switch Marketplace initially, there was another train game listed there, and I may eventually get that. It's more like it's a single player puzzle game, like you have to solve puzzles with the train by going a certain path to solve it. So I might check that out later, but obviously not multiplayer. Probably still kid appropriate. I'll check it out later. And also, the game was called Derailed initially, and then they switched the name to Unrailed, and I think we made a joke about that last episode, at the end of last episode. So it is, both names are actually correct. Anyways, so if you like this title or are looking for something similar to it, I would probably recommend, because I'm not really big on roguelikes, so I picked out some stuff that's cooperative, puzzle, requires communication co-op, and that's Death Squared. I mentioned once before, is a puzzle game that requires communication because your movement reflects the other player's movement. You can kill each other without meaning to, so you have to talk a lot to make sure you're not messing up your movements. And also keep talking and no one explodes because that's entirely dependent on one person reading through instructions and another one following them. Both of these are survival-based communication cooperative games. I would recommend if you like something like that.
I'm glad that we never discuss what like we're putting our reviews with each other beforehand. I was about to put keep talking and no one explodes, but I'm like, Jess will probably put that. So
Yeah, I'm pretty predictable. If you like this title or something similar to it, what would you recommend?
as I mentioned earlier, Faster Than Light (FTL). Really simple. It's a single player only, but you control not you don't necessarily control the spacecraft. You control the crew of the spacecraft, and you're trying to get them to fly through Federation space to alert the rebels of an attack. And it's probably one of the hardest roguelites I've put a significant amount of time into. And it's pretty fun. It's got a lot of good art, and a lot of other people recommend it. It's pretty good. Similar to Unrailed, I put Crossy Road because they have the exact same art aesthetic to the point where I thought they were the same developers, but apparently they're not. And Crossy Road is basically Infinite Frogger, which is also co-op, and that's kind of fun. And you also see
Wait,
it.
there's co-op?
I don't remember if the Windows Store version has co-op. I could probably check that.
I mean, I've only played on Android,
Um,
and when we played at Dave and Buster's on the big screen.
yes, the Dave and Buster's or a similar arcade that have the Crossy Road on the big screen. It's tons of fun. That was like a single button game. That was a ton of fun on a big screen at an arcade, and it's still fun on your phone. And I am on the Windows Store and I'm looking, and it doesn't mention co-op. Any pictures of two people? No, it might not have co-op on PC. Outside of Crossy Road, Minecraft. I'm actually mentioning Minecraft seriously at this point. If you like building railroad tracks, because trains are cool, and you like the voxel aesthetic and collecting resources, and you want something more than just the building of the track to be the thing, there's so much you can do in Minecraft, and you can absolutely build trains in Minecraft, and they're actually a lot of fun to build in Minecraft. And then just like another co-op, I don't know if it's technically a roguelite. Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. Definitely a game where every player has like a different job they need to be doing at a different time, and very different aesthetic. It's all bright colors and like vectory kind of stuff, but it's another good game for co-op fun. That's what I had for similar titles.
I keep thinking that there's another game that I've played where you have to delegate jobs, and I just don't remember what it is.
I'm sure we have other games, but I don't have them listed. Um,
So many
we need to create just a master
games.
list of good co-op games for people to try.
Well, that entirely depends on what they're willing to play on, console wise.
Yeah, PC Master Race.
So, personal rating. I would probably say on sale, yes, full price, no. Unless you're like, I need to buy my kid a party game tonight. They have a party. They have a Switch, PS4, Xbox One post September 23rd, and they have four friends and they need to do something together that's cooperative. Then buy this game, $20. Otherwise, wait for it to go on sale to buy it. I can't really say that it's worth $20 when every game mode is essentially the same.
Refer to our podcast description after the 23rd when I'll make any updates if our opinions change at all. But as of right now, I would say not for more than $10 on PC. I like if I had spent $10 on this, I probably would be okay. Not $20 a copy. That's kind of a lot for what's currently in the game. I'd probably go as high as $15 on Switch, honestly. I think it lends itself to the Switch more. I would be more likely to play this again on the Switch, especially if we were away from the house. As it stands now, I wouldn't really recommend it unless you have a kid who's really into trains, and then just get them Train Simulator.
I think there might be one or two train simulators on Switch. I got this really cheap train game that I think is just called Trains or something that I like. Our son likes watching me play it sometimes because you're connecting the train station start and the train station end, and it's just like
Oh,
puzzles game, basic puzzle game.
there is a game. Well, we might wind up reviewing it because I am interested in it. But there is a game coming out on PC where you can like build a model train set, but it has like an economy and stuff. That looks pretty cool.
Cute.
But if you're just looking for trains now and you actually care about trains, Dovetail Games Train Simulator.
To PC only?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So, unless you got anything else for me?
not in terms of what else you should be playing, which is largely all of Steam library right now.
Okay. Just a couple new updates. We got multiplayer coming to Goose Game, so we're probably gonna review that a little bit again, just to see how the multiplayer works. I gotta double check the release date on the multiplayer before we,
Expect more Goose.
yeah, expect more Goose before we decide to dive into that one more time. Um, they did announce a DLC for the last game we reviewed, Lonely Mountain Downhill. Matt posted about that on the
Yes,
group.
that looks great. Especially love that like 3 days after we're talking, hey, you know what this game could use? DLC. You know, it'd be cool. Like an island that guess what the DLC is?
An island.
Scandinavian islands.
So I said I would pay for DLC, so I probably will buy this DLC, and we might do like a quick little review on the DLC if you guys want us to do that. We'll see what happens.
It's got volcanoes, it's got tropics, it's got beaches.
And I think I mentioned that I wanted volcanoes, so there you go. Find us on Facebook via Family Fun Force. Join our Family Fun Force pod group, and find us at Twitter at
ForcePod at ForcePod on Twitter.
Key recommendation. I try to post on the Facebook frequently, or at least try to reshare video game related stuff onto the pod group.
You're way more active than I am.
Engage with us. Questions, comments, concerns, recommendations on reviews.
You can email all of those to. I have it up. Where is it listed?
Say, don't ask me. I don't have that.
familyfunforcepod@gmail.com.
Have we gotten any email?
I got an email from podcastreviews.me and Team Anchor and Twitter.
Did we get a review?
Nope.
Darn, darn, darny darn. If you guys leave us reviews, we get more visibility on stuff, and that helps us get seen, and leads back to we'll be more inclined to do more episodes if we get a little bit more traffic.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
We also have a Discord server, and we've been getting more people in, and sometimes we're chatty, sometimes we're not. At the very least, we hop on the Discord server to chit chat when we live stream. We've been doing some live stream on Twitch. We've been using our personal Twitches because it's not safe for work. We've been playing a lot of Titanfall lately, but we can play family games if people come up and say, hey, I'd like to see this game. We'll do that. So you can find our Discord linked in our Family Fun Force group on Facebook.
I can't find it.
You could always message Jessica, and
Yeah,
she can
I
send you
guess
an
you could
invite.
do that.
And then you get to talk to Jessica.
Ooh, talking to me.
You could message me on Facebook, but I probably won't respond for like a month because that's about how
Yeah,
often
I'm
I'm
on
Facebook.
Facebook, minimum an hour and a half every day. So if you get on the Facebook or message the Facebook podcast group or anything, I will see it and I will respond to it. So, yeah. Okay, Matt, What is our next title?
Zoo Planet.
I don't think that's what it's called.
What do you think it's called?
I think it's called Planet Zoo.
That might be correct. I think it's Planet Zoo 2.
No, just Planet Zoo. This isn't a sequel.
Planet Zoo.
Tycoon?
No, it's not Don't. No, that's Don't.
Planet Zootopia?
That I'm interested in that one. Is that
Planet
the game
Zoot?
where you create like furries?
No.
I'm
This
not
isn't
cutting
Second
that.
Life.
Planet Zoo from the creators of Planet Coaster. So look forward to that.
We're gonna talk about cute babies. And
I adopted my baby wolf cub in real life, and you can't tell me otherwise.
okay, until next time, peace out.
Bye.
We're really bad at this. That's because we're parents who work full time. So we're trying our best.
Yeah, September is our 1 year of, hey, let's make a podcast. But we've still got a bit till, hey, I actually posted the podcast, Jess. It records you while you play. Is there anywhere you're safe from being recorded nowadays?
I don't. We're not having a conversation about Big Brother in this podcast, okay? Okay. Well,
I just read "Cut to the Chase" is "Cut the Cheese," and I'm so happy right now. I like editing out our jibber jabber at the beginning because I can put it at the end.
don't put that in bloopers, please.